Yeah, hello everybody. I was asked to give a small introduction about the headstarting as a conservation measurement. Is it opportunity or is it aberration? At first, we have to divide headstarting from two other methods in nature conservation, which is introduction or reinforcement. Introduction means to establish a population on a new place, and reinforcement means to just to add additionally animals to an endangered population. And both of these methods, there are clearly regulations from the IUCN, and this is normally done with the birds from captivity breeding, animals from zoo, or from special breeding programs which were set up directly to these purposes. Headstarting, in contrast, is a conservation technique for endangered species in which young animals are raised artificially and subsequently released into the wild. The technique allows a greater proportion of youngs to reach independence without any predation and losses to other natural causes. The aim is to reduce the exposure of everyday dangers from agriculture, predation, weather, and so on, increase the survival probabilities of fledglings, and the possibility of further increased breeding performance of the renesting population. Headstarting was done so far quite successful in reptiles and amphibians. Here, the mortality rate of young animals which are already almost independent is significantly reduced in the period shortly after hatching and in the weeks thereafter. Extremely high losses rates are by keeping them ex situ, let's say in the turtles, digging out the eggs from the beach, rearing them in captivity, and then releasing them after hatching back to the sea. A good point is that the place of releasement can be influenced by yourself, by choice. You can choose for a good place. And of course, you can release the animals to a habitat which was optimized before, especially for this species. In headstarting of birds, of course, in contrast to the reptiles, bird chicks are not independent from their parents, they rely on them. Removal of the eggs means the destruction of the whole clutch and affects also the survival and the fitness of the adult birds. So we have to ask, is this method transferable to birds and bird chicks? Yes, of course, you can do something like that, which is shown in the last years, but there are some cons and pros for headstarting. Let's start with the pros. You can select eggs in the wild, taking out from the clutch, let's say special dangerous eggs or clutches on intensively managed farmland or from airfields and whatever. And in most species, the adult birds will make a second clutch, so the number of eggs is higher than before or normal. By rearing the first clutch ex situ, the total number of young birds can be increased by this using the second clutch, which is raised then by the wild birds. Ex situ rearing eliminates predation and improves the chick survival, of course. This makes it possible to introduce the species to a new area and to support existing breeding populations by more youngs than regularly would be fledged. On the other hand, the cons, the ecological reason for the poor breeding success will still exist. So, in principle, it doesn't change the environment of the wild population. It's just an interims tool, let's say, and won't change that you have to optimize the habitat. The removal of the clutches is regularly permitted and is just allowed under very, very restricted conditions by the bird directive. The protection of wild living population and the improvement of the habitats is prior in conservative thinking within the last 120 years so far. And the protection, of course, of the wild bird is the most important point. The young birds from Headstarting may have some handicaps because they didn't learn from the parents how to cope with all the environment outside the captivity. So maybe by lacking the soft skills, this could affect the survival after releasing into the wild, as well probably as a further breeding success when they didn't learn how to breed and how to rear the chicks from their parents. Headstarting is quite cost intensive. A large amount of money and infrastructure must be provided for the whole technical things like incubators, enclosures, the stuff, of course. The food is expensive and all the things. The Headstarting program is dependent on regular supply by eggs from the wild population, and the effect of systematic annual clutch removals on population is quite uncertain so far. Here you can see some quite nice pictures from North German landscape showing you the most important factors why curlews don't have that breeding success they regularly would need. And here you can see a curlew clutch in the middle of a mice field, quite an open ground, and of course this is exposed very much to crows and other predators. We have a lot of open questions still to Headstarting as a tool, and some of these questions are: is the survival of reared birds higher, or is the mortality of the chicks just postponed to a later time? So do we have finally, after 2 years, the same low amount of birds? We know that the real point, the number which is count, of course, is a recruitment and not the number of fledged chicks. Then, do reared birds have really the same social and other skills as youngs from natural broods in the way of predator defense, foraging, food choice, and hiding in the bush, in the grassland and other things? Is it really a method to increase the number of breeding birds locally, not only to release more fledglings? Do more individuals actually return to the local population, or do they distribute elsewhere? And to reproduce then locally? That, of course, is quite important for a lot of local projects which hope for higher population, hope for stabilization of their local populations by Headstarting. And of course, how costly is Headstarting compared to efficient protection measure in the open landscape in the way of optimizing the breeding habitats? We learned within the last 2 years that the idea of Headstarting for protecting meadowbirds is already at the moment quite popular in open and on public discussions, especially in agriculture and in hunting. So, as one example, the Dutch State Secretary Jean Rumeny from the Ministry of Agriculture called in the Parliament, in the Dutch Parliament, for a long black-tailed goodwit project. That the eggs should be collected and artificially reared. This would, of course, allow the intensive farmers to continue farming on the ground with regards to the birds. This, of course, is from my point of view, a clear misuse of the method of headstarting. But such project ideas also exist in our countryside here, and we have to be honest that a lot of clutches actually are removed by people doing the fawn rescue things with using infrared drones to look for the calves in the grass, and then they find accidentally also the clutches, and quite often them are taken out and brought somewhere in private houses to incubators and were raised there illegally. Conclusions. Headstarting is legally permissible only under exceptional circumstances. And it's quite restricted when you really can use this, because the destruction of a nest is quite clear forbidden by bird directive. It's currently unclear whether headstarting is a suitable method for improving the breeding success of highly endangered species in the short term and preventing local extinction. Interventions in breeding to facilitate the industrial cultivation of land are not permitted by law, by the Bird Directive, and the removal of clutches in the context of fawn rescue is not permitted. What are the perspectives of species protection by headstarting? The benefits and the advantages of the methods must be clearly scientifically demonstrated. Clear rules regarding to reasons for removal, habitat improvement, and duration are required for approval. Comprehensive evaluation and efficiency review has to be done, and efficient controlling of the approved measurements have to be also carried out. And there has to be, of course, a clearly controlling of that what happens in the landscape and what are the effects to the populations. Thank you very much.